All right, we're going to go ahead and get going here. Check to see if, okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and get going. Jeremy, oh, here we go. Okay. See if anybody has any questions. If you could save them for the end, and we can answer those. My name is Tammy Norstedt, and I'm just helping Jeremy with the sales end. If there's any specific subjects that you guys want to have discussed, or just any difficulties or challenges you're having, please submit those, and we'll make that a topic. We're just going through and picking some topics that will help increase your sales, increase your business, and we're going to try and cover all areas. So the beginning of the call is going to basically be points about phone sales tools, and then we're going to hand the call over to Jeremy. Jeremy's going to give you some updates, and then at the end of the call we'll do some Q&A. So again, if you have questions, just write them down and we'll save them till the end. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. If you can't, please let me know. Raise your hand. That's probably the easiest way to let me know. We're going to start off, and we're just basically going to talk about using the phone. A lot of people, have gotten into this business because they want to be able to be home, have a home business, and one of the ways that we can build our business is using the phone. But there are some just techniques that will help increase the amount of volume that you're bringing from that. Face-to-face is always a great way to build your business, but the phone is also a tool that you need to use and use often. So we're going to just go over tips. A lot of times the phone will actually, if you look at the beginning here, the phone will actually get you an appointment with somebody you don't know. Obviously, people you know, that's one way to get an appointment. But the phone's going to allow you to connect with people that you don't know, and that gives you the potential to make a sale. In order to use the phone, it's very important, and a lot of people make this mistake, that they're in the right mindset and remember that each phone call could really change their life, because it could be that phone call could lead to 20 other sales. So it's really important ahead of time to be prepared. One of the things that we know is there's personality types, and uncovering personality types of each of your customers is going to help you to make sure that you're not making assumptions about your buyers. Customers are not the same in their looks, they're not the same in their buying needs, they're not the same in their objective or problems. So you don't want to use the same technique for each one. You're going to discover that there's 4 personality types that cover most customers, and that's going to actually be on the next call. We're going to talk about those personality types, and you're going to be able to distinguish your personality type and how they fit in. But today we just want to know that that exists, so that you can use those skills, as you progress. Now, when you learn how to build relationships, at the beginning it's a little bit more difficult on the phone, because you can't, a lot of the language is body language, so you're not going to be able to see them, so you need to learn how to have the skill to do it over the phone. And what will happen is that you'll actually increase the amount of work you get, and you're going to have a lot more fun, and obviously the bank account will grow. In addition, you're going to learn the process, and you're going to know on every call what it's going to take to get that deal closed. You're going to know pretty quickly. So it's really important, to be in the game and create. The first thing is to create the zone. In other words, make sure that the area that you're going to use to make these calls, make sure that it's a place that is quiet. Make sure it's a place that you can work in. Make sure you have a hands-free headset. This is huge. If you don't have one, go out and get one. There's some. It took me a while to find one I like, and now I buy several of them in case they go out. But make sure you have, wireless, that you're able to walk around the room. You want to be able to gesture with your hands. A lot of people have found that if they walk and talk, that it comes across much better. Make sure your physical environment, if you are sitting, make sure that you've got a good chair. Make sure that the desk height is where it should be. It'll help reduce the fatigue, and you'll just come across better and happier. Fill your head ahead of time. Talk about, what a good salesperson you are. Talk about how successful you are. If you need to, positive messages on your car. Use visual assistance. A lot of people, I've heard about, using the mirror, but there are different things that you can do. Some people think that the phone just comes naturally, but trying to pick up and make that first phone call, regardless of if you've been doing it years or if it's something new to you, it can be really a challenge. So you want to make sure that you're prepared. So make sure that you take courses if you can. Just be confident when you pick up that phone, because it's going to affect the business, it's going to affect your customers. Listen to how people, on the other end sound. Pay attention. Pay attention when you hear other people interviewing. Learn from people that are polished. You can even, there's, different calls that you can listen to. You can listen to interviews over the phone. There's several ways to polish those skills. Listen to Ad on the Radio. Those are professionals doing that. Make sure that you take breaks. It's important. Okay? Try something new. This book that the majority of this information came out of is a great book. It's a tool that I've been using for years, and I go back to it often. Even if it's one example or one tip, it could help close just one more sale. And then attend to your body. Make sure you keep your blood sugar level, where it should be. Reward yourself. If you close a deal, if you get stuck, make sure that, you keep that self-talk good. Follow ideas that can help you climb out of, if you are having a difficult time, or, you need an attitude change or performance. If you need that, you might want to call a customer who likes to energize yourself, whatever it is, that can energize you before you pick up the phone again. Talk to your colleagues, other people that might do phone sales might be able to give you tips. Rethink what you're doing, just to make sure that your tone of voice and your body language are where they need to be to make the sale. A lot of people, what they'll do is there's recorders you can get, and you can record your calls. If you've got, internet, there's different ways you can record the calls, but what you want to do is, after you make a sale, listen to that call over and over, and you're going to see there's usually a difference in that call and how that sale went. So that would be a model for you to repeat again. And remember that experts, they definitely have scripts, and they are professionals because they do work at it, and it's not just they pick up the phone and do it, half-cocked. They actually have, spent time to learn what they're doing. This is, basically when you get on the phone, and a lot of people, I've heard, different salespeople say, every call, they say they don't have money, and there's always patterns, and we talked about this in previous calls. It's very important that you don't fall into that hole of, pointing the fingers, because that's just going to make you not motivated. So resolve that before you get on the phone, because phone calls, sales, they all work. It's all a numbers game, and you just need to determine what your numbers are. Somebody else might be able to make a sale by visiting or calling 5 people. Another person might need to call or visit 12 people. Another yet might need to do 20. Once you know your ratios and your numbers, you can do the exact amount of business you want to do. So we need to determine what those numbers are for you, and if the phone is the best for you, or if meeting somebody in person is best for you. But it's really important that when you go to pick up that phone, that you're ready to do that. Okay, now we're going to talk about, finding the customer and the leads. We're getting a little bit of feedback, Jeremy.
You are?
Yeah, I don't know if somebody might have their speakers on, and it might be, or if it's yours. We're getting just a little bit of feedback.
Might be mine. I shut mine off.
Maybe if you can turn that down.
All right, I'm shutting mine off. It's probably me.
Okay. Let's see. One of the things that differ when you're selling in person or by the phone, it's most likely, if you're calling over the phone, it's somebody that you don't know. And so you need to get to know that person. And if you're calling somebody that you do know and they're purchasing regularly, that's a different phone call. And those phone calls are generally a motivation for you. But if it's a customer that hasn't bought from you or hasn't, come aboard yet, then you want to make sure that you're making contact often, okay? And you want to look at what kind of lead that is. Is that, passive? Is it an inbound? Where did they find out about you? What their interest level is? Was it a referral network? All of these things are really important because it's going to depend on where they came from and your relationship prior to as to how you're going to treat that person, okay? And the amount of rapport and what you're going to have to do. One of the biggest mistakes people make is that first phone call is the salesperson talks too much. And that is, if you really want to get to know the person and you want to build rapport, it's all about listening. And we've talked about this on previous calls, but on the phone it's even more important. And it's a little bit easier to mirror somebody if you're really listening. In person, mirroring is something that comes more natural, but on the phone, if you haven't had a lot of phone work, this will be a little bit of a challenge. So one thing to remember is really listen, take notes, lots and lots of notes. So when I'm making calls, I'll have a whole page of notes, even if I've talked to somebody for a few minutes, because it's remarkable if you compare it back to people, what they said to you, and them know you're listening. They'll make a huge difference on sales, okay? Now, again, this is basics of, posture and blood flow and how to help think. And again, Jeremy will have all this information in the office, so you don't have to necessarily be writing all this down right now. Make sure that your outgoing message, make sure that it sounds good. Have other people listen to it, give you conductive criticism on there. Make sure that you've listened to it and analyzed what it says. Make sure that your energy level is what it should be. Write the message out ahead of time. Practice it. One of the things that I have always tracked if I'm making phone sales and leaving messages is I'll do different messages and then I'll track which ones get phone calls back. And just trying to improve on it. And it can make a big, big difference, especially if you're making lots of phone calls in a day. So don't just assume that every message going out, because I've actually had challenges with leaving messages where nobody's calling back and somebody else will have the exact same script and they're getting all kinds of phone calls back. So I've had to listen and, change my message. So it's really important that, your phone message that you're leaving for people is something that will make people call you back, whether it be content or just, the tone of voice, your energy level, but all of those things will come into play, okay? And that's the next subject is the voice and tone. How do you feel before you get on the phone? Are you feeling, up to making a call? Are you having a bad day? If you can't sound upbeat and happy, then don't pick up the phone. Don't make the call because it will affect it, believe it or not. I mentioned this earlier, and I think everybody probably has heard this before. It's really important to smile when you're on the phone. If you need to, put a mirror. I know one of the tools that we've trained on is a mirror, and then right next to the mirror have duct tape, and the duct tape symbolizes to shut your mouth more and listen. That will help you just, be more in tune to what they're saying and what they need. Okay? And then make sure that you've got, proper English. It's important. There's people from all over and, they need to be able to understand what you're saying. And a lot of times if we use slang, that's difficult for people to understand. And some people can't hear as well. So speak as clear as possible with English and, proper grammar is definitely important, and pronunciation. So, and maintain professionalism. I don't see this as often as I used to, but make sure you're not eating or drinking. Avoid using words like, yeah, no problem. I hear that a lot. We can do that. No, it's policy. No worries. those are all casual phrases that you don't know, how other people are going to take them. So, and there's some examples of words that would be recommended in lieu of those. And just always be aware of, that you're positive on the phone. Make sure that people are confident with you. Make sure that you don't have any sarcasm. I've heard salespeople, when I've listened to people making calls, I've heard people just make a sigh or make a noise, and basically it really on the other end comes across, and it can really backfire on you. Make sure that you're more formal. You might not normally be that formal, but it's important if you don't know the person to always opt for the formal approach, at least on the first call, unless they ask you to call them something else. Make sure that you don't have background noise. Don't play music. You don't want people to hear that. You want to make sure that you don't offend them. You don't really know who you're calling. If you have the opportunity, call over email. Email nowadays, I'm sure you guys are overloaded, but the odds of them opening up, it's really unreliable. So a phone call is much more powerful. Make sure that whatever you're selling, make sure that, your packages might be different from the next person. Make sure you're confident in knowing what your package is and knowing what you're going to offer them, okay? You need to be very confident this is your business, and you need to know what you're doing. Do that before you get on the phone so that you don't have an issue where they come back and ask you a question that you can't answer. And always build your business with integrity. Tell the customer the truth right away. And if there's something, and that's what Jeremy has done that with all of us. Basically, this is what we can do right now for you. This is what's coming. There are other programs out there, but there's nothing that really is like ours or has, the appearance of ours. So it's important that you're truthful with your customers, and that will help you build that rapport quicker. Number 3 here is important. Make sure that you know about your competition, because other people are going to ask you those questions, and you want to make sure that what you're quoting is definitely what you're going to be able to produce, and that you're competitive in your area, because everybody's area is different. And make sure that you know what your customers' needs really are. We've talked about this on several calls now. If you're in and you're trying to tell somebody about, how we have open table, and that's not a service that they're interested in, they're going to tune you out. And once you lose them on the phone, you're never going to get them back. So make sure that you know ahead of time what that customer really needs, okay? And this is just, think before you speak. I mean, that's common sense, but again, a lot of people get on the phone and just start to ramble. So you want to think about it before it comes out. And it's okay. I know some people on the phone think they need to fill the space. It's okay to pause or, say something as far as, let me think about that, and just take a second and, jot down some notes. Or one of the things that I do when I talk to people is I tell them up front, I am taking some notes just to make sure I understand what it is your needs are, and to make sure I can address them all, or if you have any questions. So I let them know up front that I'm taking notes, and that that way, if there is a delay or if I don't respond right back, that's, and I'll even say, oh, sorry, Tom, I was just jotting that down. I wanted to make sure I had all that information for you in the future. So that's one way, if you're nervous or you don't know how to maybe address a situation, how you can pause and, just think about the answer that you're going to come back with before you answer it. Basic, courtesy. Make sure that, you're listening to them. Again, people that tend to wing it really don't generally they might have a little bit of success, but not the kind of sustainable success that you're looking for. This is a good acronym here, PLAN, and it's Plan for your call, listen to your customer, ask high-value questions, yak less, involve your customer, negotiate the close, and gain that commitment. If you use this basic pattern every time you call, whether you're cold calling, whether you're following up, it'll ensure that, every phone contact will make a difference for you. It might not close that day, but it definitely puts you a step closer to the close. Okay, and this again just talks about the play system, and it'll become natural for you. I remember probably the first, took me probably 300 phone calls before I actually was comfortable. I used to just want to hang up. I think I did hang up the first couple calls I made. And what you'll find is the more phone calls you make, the easier they get. It just becomes automated. And if you use a system up front, I know people have different systems to build rapport, that know, like, and trust. People have different systems to just do the entire call. I use a script, and then I also use Post-it notes to keep my place, because at any time, you don't want to be so scripted that you can't listen, but you also want to follow the script and know where you're at, so that you do get the information that is pertinent out there and that they understand what you're talking about. Okay, so plan for that call, and that's the key again in the planning game. You want to make sure, when you're planning, you want to know when's the best time to reach them, who's that gatekeeper that you need to get by, what challenges would that person have? Are they a new business? Are they a pizza place where there's 6 other pizza places on the block? What happened previously? Have you ever tried to reach this person? Jot really good notes or take notes on the computer, whichever is easier for you. I have people that do both. It's a little bit more distracting to the customer if you're typing and they can hear you type. So I actually prefer, and I tell people, it's a little bit better if you're jotting notes than typing, but I do have some people that still prefer that. What products or service, does this customer have now? Do they have a website? Have they ever had an app? All of these questions you need to know before going in, before talking to this person. If you know of any special interests, you might know of, this person owns this restaurant, but yet they're very involved in the community. All of these items will help you build rapport, okay? Decision making, is this person the only one? What might influence this customer? Is it that, they need more business from the high school kids? Is it, whatever it is, you need to know. So it's your job to do your research and plan that out. What personality type, and again, we're going to talk about that next week, to distinguish personality types and how they mesh with you and how to make sure you get along with personality types. But if you know that ahead of time, it's great. If you don't, it's something that you'll be able to determine early on. Now, how prepared are you physically, mentally for the phone call? Just picking up the phone. Just do a personal check. Are you in the right mood? Are you in the right position? Do you have the customer's information? Are you ready to actually make that call? Make sure there's no distractions ahead of time, which I know for some people that's difficult when you're working from home. We all have challenges with that. Is your energy level up? Are you in the right mood? Is it the right moment? What are your goals? What are your expectations? Even down to the detail of what are your expectations for that phone call? Your attitude. Are you organized? You need all of that in place. I know that when I make calls, I have everything laid out. I've got the information on the computer screen. I've got a notepad. I've got a script, and it's all laid out ahead of time. I'm not picking up the phone and not being prepared, because it'll make a huge difference on each phone call. It'll be, if you're planning ahead, it'll be so much easier to get that person engaged. If you're excited, they're going to be excited and want to know what it is you have. Okay? So keep in mind that all of these things will affect how that phone call goes. And remember that they're getting pitched by several people, and it could be several people a day. So when they get on the phone, there might be already some preconceived notion of what you're going to be like. So we want to change that a little bit. Okay. The next one is ask the high-valued questions. All those questions will make a difference. You know, you want to uncover the information, and that's something that it's a skill you can learn, but it's very important that you listen, because once you start listening and you're able to get these questions answered quicker, they're going to know that, and it's going to get you to the decision maker a lot quicker. You know, focus on things that, you know, people often will bring up their objections right off the bat, and you're going to be able to listen and keep the conversation moving in the right direction of the sale in advance if you know and have these skills. Okay? If you don't ask the right questions, I've got a section here just about what happens and how frustrating that can be. So make sure that you are asking the right questions. And again, yak less. That's a big one. Just talking a little bit more about that, and I would suggest you guys read through this on your own. Involve your customer. That's the next part of that. And if you can be interactive, if you can have them at the same time get on the computer and maybe see what you're talking about, that really involves them. You know, and for us, I mean, that's a huge tool that you can utilize if they have an opportunity. And even if you prep it, if the first phone call, they can't be on there, set up for the second phone call where they're actually going to be in front of the computer and you're going to be able to show them if you're not going to do it face-to-face. Okay? And then make sure that, you know, they know what's in it for them. That's always, bottom line is, what's in it for them. That's going to determine their interest. That's going to determine whether they talk to you again. You have to know that ahead of time, and you have to be able to deliver what it is they need. Okay, so knowing their needs, doing your homework is going to be able to determine what's in it for them, and you're going to be able to answer that right up front. And then negotiate to clarify the close. A lot of salespeople in the beginning will do really well at everything up until this point, but they don't close. And so for some reason they hold it off, and you know, they're self-sabotaging. So we want to make sure that you know how to get to that point and close the deal, you know. So it gives you some pointers here on how to do that, how to do it effectively and get that commitment. And a commitment, again, there are all types of closes. You know, either it's a signature, it's an agreement for an in-person appointment, because that just gets you a step closer. It's a time set for a formal presentation, and that could be, you know, tomorrow could you be in front of your computer at 10 o'clock? I'll call you, I want to show you what I can do for you. And at that point, you definitely should have, you know, example of what you could do for their business, okay? But, and once they see that, that should be a sale. There should be no doubt, if you make an app for somebody, that should be closed. So you just need to get it in front of them, okay? And then again, acceptance. You know, if you get them to agree to a trial, that's huge. Nobody likes the takeaway. So all you need to do is get them to agree to a trial, okay? And again, if you don't close, you know, you've lost your gold, so make sure you close. And then, again, there can be several ways, and then the payoff of what happens. And once you do, even if it takes you, you know, I've heard stories, you know, world records of how many phone calls or how many sales calls, you know, that first close took. Once you get it, you might have 10 pop right after it. So you might take 30 phone calls and not have success, but then that 31st phone call is success all the way through the 40th. The numbers will work out. We just need to figure out, and everybody will, you know, I actually chart my phone calls, and what you'll find is you'll know your ratios. And once you know your ratios, you can determine your pay. And, you know, you can make whatever it is you're looking to make, whether, you know, you want to make a 7-figure income, a 6-figure income, whatever it is you're looking for, you just need to know those numbers ahead of time. And phone is one of the options in our business to build our business. So this is something that's really, really important, and a lot of people take lightly. All right. Again, Jeremy will have this document in the section. I can't think of what it's called right now, Jeremy. for you to review.
The
and
Learning
then I'm gonna
Center.
go ahead. Yeah, Learning Center. My head was saying school.
School center,
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah, so, and then again, if there's some specifics, because I know phone is a huge part of our business, if there's some specifics you need on this, let us know and we can go into more detail on it. Hopefully this is helpful start though, okay?
All right, sounds good. And everybody, Tammy is a very successful salesperson who's done a lot of different types of sales that can provide a lot of support. She may also, for extra fees, do one-on-one training. You may be able to entice her to do something like that for yourself. So if you have any questions or would ever like to meet with her one-on-one, obviously there would be an extra fee as like a consultant for her to do something like that. But she would definitely be able to help a lot of people be successful in sales. So all you have to do is email something through your support tab if you're interested in something like that with one-on-one sales training. And Tammy could probably help you out with that. So thank you, Tammy. I want to go into a couple big things. So what I'm going to do is just talk about two big things that we added lately, and then we'll do a Q&A. For the Q&A, you'll just raise your hand. There's a little button on there that looks like a hand raiser. And then I'll unmute you and you can ask a question with that. So one big thing we added is called the web page to mobile converter. So what we did is we want to make it obviously as easy as possible for you to convert actual web pages to your mobile apps. And right now you have to either link to something or manually, add the pages to them. So we added a feature where you can actually just add the URL to that mobile page and it will automatically pull in all of the information from that web page, that full website, and actually lay it out in a mobile version. It actually strips out a lot of the different stuff that you don't need and it lays it out into the mobile version. That is a very, very big feature because what happens then is when that business updates their regular website, it will automatically update those pages on your app also. It'll pull in images. It's not perfect though because if the developers follow protocol as far as labeling their navigation bars and footers and stuff, it'll easily pick those up and strip them out. Some developers don't do that, so there might be some where we can't strip the navigation bars out or something like that. The information's not editable at this time. If we add that feature, it makes it so that it won't update when the business updates their website. So we're kind of looking at if they could be an either or at this time, but right now you can, on like the customized page, a lot of the pages now you'll see the first tab or the first option that you have for creating that page will be called the web page to mobile converter. And all that you have to do is go to the web page you want to convert to mobile, copy the URL, paste it into that creative page, hit submit, and it will automatically pull all that information into our system from their website and lay it out in a mobile version. So you could literally, in about 2 minutes, create an entire app of their entire website and have it all pulled in mobile just by copy and pasting the different paged URLs from their website. So that is huge. That can make a very, very big difference. And the best part of it is it strips out the SSS or CSS, like the design of their website, and it puts it in the design of what you do on your app as far as background, text colors, and stuff like that. So huge addition. That should help a lot of people be able to create apps pretty quickly and make it more efficient for creating them. Now obviously to make it look the absolute best, it's creating the pages manually, and that's no different across the world. The way to be able to pull in things mobile is kind of newer, this converter thing that we kind of developed, but the best looking is to be able, obviously, because it's all laid out perfect, is creating the pages manually. But this is a great, quick alternative, and it's really cool because it actually updates when they make changes to their website. It'll automatically make changes to those pages. So that's a huge addition that should help you do a lot more apps quicker. The other addition is you can now be sort of your own licensing company. So we added, this just got added today. You can now, when you log into your master admin panel, there'll be a tab called sub-licensees. So what this is you can actually create your own network of licensees. So under the sub-licensee tab, you can submit a person's information to us, and we would set them up with their own website, similar, exactly like what you have. They can self-brand or whatever, but they would be under you, not us. So they would actually not even know Multiply. We email you their setup, their information, and then they work directly with you as like you're their kind of Multiply as far as for training and getting them going and stuff like that. So we charge $50 a month for each one, and then you charge them whatever you want. And then you can kind of build your own network of licensees using our platform and using our system. So we still support you, but then they get a stripped down version of the master admin panel. There's no news from Multiply. There's no documents from Multiply. There's still a learning center that you can add stuff to, but everything else will be stripped out. So they'll only, and on their support tab, if they have a question or whatever, it gets sent to you. So you can actually build, a big network of your own licensees, kind of like how you are with us through your own master admin panel. I put in there the licensing agreement that we use. That obviously you'd want to strip out our name out of the whole thing and put your name on there. We put in there the getting started guide. We took off Multiply off of everything. We gave you the DNS change settings we took off Multiply, so you can show them how to give them that to change their DNS settings. So it's a really big feature again, but if you do that, when you set them up, they become your network. They do not come to us for support. They do not come to us for training or anything like that. It's all through you. But it's really a good way to, you can make a lot of money if you could add a big network like what we do with you. And all we get is $50 a month from that. You get, $200 a month or whatever, whatever it is you're going to charge. So check out your licensee. We'll actually put more information in there about it now. Right now, you have a sub-licensee tab, and there's nothing as far as sub-licensees under there because no one has any set up yet. But you'll actually be able to log directly into their master admin panel. Similar to how you can log into your app builders right now, you'll actually be able to log into their master admin panel and track them and stuff like that. As far as you charging them, it doesn't go through our system. That's all between you and them. My suggestion is just sending them an email invoice from PayPal or Google Checkout with a subscribe button on there for charging them their monthly licensing fee to you. And then we're just going to charge you the $50 a month for each one, and you keep the rest. So you can obviously build a big network if you're good at training and wanting to work with people that way. But the best part is you can also still sell apps directly to businesses. We will actually be adding a new feature today, might be pushed tomorrow, where you'll be able to add more pages to your marketing website, custom pages that you can create, or links to external pages. And then we're also adding a page called Resellers, and you can change the name if you want. When you click on it, it kind of looks like the Multiply Partners site talks about how people could have their own white label business through you, and then there's a contact form on there so that you can actually market that page directly to whoever to build your own network. You don't have to have that page on there. You don't have to do the sub-licensing if you don't want. It's out there. You only pay $50 a month for each one that you set up. There's no extra fees, and that will, and then you charge them whatever you want. So that is live, and you can start using that. The other thing is full websites. We actually licensed a very big platform for you to be able to have your own website, kind of like your mobile one, but that talks all about regular websites. So you'd be able to link the two together and be able to offer businesses full websites. This is, it's almost identical to Multiply to be able to offer your mobile sites. It'll be a full website that matches the Multiply marketing website, that you can actually offer full websites to businesses. That's only $50 a month to license the entire platform, but it goes hand in hand with Multiply. You have to be a licensee of Multiply to be able to keep that also. But it's $50 a month. You'll have a full nother website that matches the marketing website that you can connect the two in the navigation bar that would say like full websites or websites, and it links to that one. And then the other one would say mobile websites and links back to your marketing one. But it's a full CMS. You can pick all from hundreds of templates and just pop in there. It's for simple websites, contact forms. You can do all the social media integration, stuff like that. There's not going to be a lot of training and stuff on it. So if you want to do it, you can do it. Build them for the businesses. We're not going to train on the platform or whatever. But if you could license it and for a fee, have us design them for the business, then you can kind of manage them from there. You can do that also. So you can probably next week be able to start offering full websites too to your clients for clients that don't actually have websites. They're basic websites. They're not going to be integrating with databases and stuff like that. They're for the normal business that needs kind of a basic website. So you could give them the whole package deal pretty easily. So that'll be coming next week. So all right, so that's about the big ones. There'll be a lot of little features coming over the next 2 weeks too, just integrations with like Yelp and different things like that will be coming, so you can do like reviews and that kind of stuff. So now let's kind of open it up to Q&A. So what you want to do is raise your hand on that little button there if you have a question, and then I will unmute you and you can fire away with your question so everybody can hear. Does everybody see on their little go-to meeting there's a little question, there's a little hand sign? There's one right there, Nathan Hacker. Can you hear me, Nathan? Are you there? Do you have your speaker set up? We cannot hear Nathan. See if I can just pull up the questions. Tammy, are you still there?
I'm here, Jeremy.
Do you know how I can pull up that? I lost my question bar. Oh, view. I remember there.
Yeah, I did that earlier. Let me find it again.
I just want to. Okay. Here we go.
Up to the left, click that question panel.
Yep. So it looks like Nate, your microphone's not working. You can send it through email a question in, and we'll answer it on here. I'll go through some of these questions and answering that people sent through this question thing. Let's see. Are there some types of websites or platforms that work better with the copy-paste feature than others? And what is the website builder called? Are there other types of websites that work better? I'm guessing you're referring to the web page to mobile conversion. There's really not, an exact type of website that will work with that. It really just depends on how good the developers were as far as if they followed protocol for marking the header, footer, navigation bars with the normal kind of protocol. Then it should work fine. Obviously, a simpler website's going to pull in a little better because there's less, but I've done some pretty complex ones with a lot of different indentions and images and stuff, and it worked fine. Images with text next to them sometimes can get confusing because it puts the text under, but there's really not a specific type that it works better with. What is the website builder called? I'm not really sure what you mean on that. The website builder called, there's no actual company or anything that it's with. It's kind of a back-end system that we've worked with another company on building. All right, here's Kim. Will you be setting up the marketing website for the sub-licensees? Yes, we will be doing everything we did like for you, for giving them a marketing website, but we give it to you to give to them. So they only work with you. They don't work directly with us. They won't even know who we are. We give you the information. So that's what that form in your sub-licensee tab does. It gets sent to us from you with their information, and we set it up, give it to you, and then you'll be actually have full control over their marketing websites and stuff and be able to lock them if they don't pay you and that kind of good stuff. Yep, exactly. So we can, other words, sub-license our agents. Yeah, I mean, sub-licensee, agents, whatever, you can give them their own brand. You can make sub-brands of your brand. It's up to you. You know, you can do a lot of different things with that, but you can literally do what we do with you with other people. Not hearing you, hearing a little noise in the background. That was probably me shuffling papers. All right, let's see if there's any hands up here. Will the converter work with DHTML files such as used a lot with font pages? I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look into that with our developers, and you can always test it out. I mean, you can just go in there and start plopping pages from all kinds of stuff and see how well it works, because it is live. What was the cost if you create the website? Well, I'm not sure if you're talking about for your sub-licensees. For them, it's $50 a month. You charge them, $200 a month, whatever you want to charge for your fees, or annually. However, if it's for the regular websites, for us to I'm guessing. So if we're going to design the website for you, it's probably like $499 for a simple website. But you could actually have it all under your brand. So let's say you license this website builder, it's $50 a month. You can actually brand it with your kind of same brand. So you have a mobile brand, you could have a regular website brand, and even if we build it for you, we can do it under your platform. And then obviously businesses that don't have websites, $1,000 for a basic website is pretty normal. And this one, they could actually manage their own content on it too, and you can show them how to do that. So. So probably about $499 for a simple website. We do have the ability, if you have a client that wants a very robust website, you're talking, we do have a development company also that builds a little more complicated, better looking websites. Those are usually about $3,000 or maybe a little more. We don't actually have the builder live yet. You'll all have a ability to test it out in probably about a week for the regular websites.
So Jeremy,
yep.
I want to clarify. The builder website for the regular website will be very similar to the builder we have now, so people can build their own, but if they want you to do it, you're talking about approximately $499.
Right. So they can license their own marketing website, similar to like what they have now, where they'll have the templates and pricing and everything. They can do everything they do, now on our site. But then they can also build regular websites for the businesses, and that would just be the $50 a month to license the platform. And I think the monthly hosting might be like $20 a month, or they could license that and have us build it for $499 to design it and use our designers and stuff to build. And then they upcharge the business to $1,000 or $1,500, whatever they want to charge the business. Yep. So same kind of platform's a little different, but you get a full marketing website like you do now that talks about everything. It looks really good. And then you can.
It is simple to use as the builder, is what you're saying.
It's probably not as simple.
Okay.
It's probably because websites you can do a lot more with than on mobile versions.
Right.
So it's probably a little bit more difficult, but not hard. I mean, it's pretty much click in this area, add an image or text, pick a template. So I don't know. It may actually be easier for some people that have worked with websites before.
Okay. Sounds good.
Let's see, any other questions?
Another revenue source.
Yeah, and from what we're finding, and the reason why, at first, I mean, Tammy, you even brought this up originally. At first, I thought, why would we do that? Almost all businesses have websites. Well, we're finding out a lot of businesses don't, like you
The
said.
majority of small businesses don't. Yeah.
I am actually shocked. I mean, being in the development arena for years, it's hard to imagine, but that's
Well,
why we added this feature, is because a lot of people came back and said, "Can we build on websites?" And usually the websites we build, are 3,000, on up, bigger websites, and a less expensive version where our licensees could help people do that, and mobile. But mobile is still our main business here. That's an add-on for you to be able to offer your customers. So it looks like we got about a couple minutes here before this thing's gonna shut down. So let's see, any other questions? All right, if there's no other questions, we got one.
You got a couple more there, Jeremy.
How detailed can we get into building websites for our clients? Again, John, you're gonna have to wait till next week, test it out. Everyone's definition of detail is different. Next week we'll launch it. You can go test out, create a sample, and be able to see if you like it or not. If you don't, you can always do a lot more complicated websites with our development company, or find other resources to build websites.
Did you one about the code?
Code. Do you have to know code to build the websites? Absolutely not. It's a simple builder like what we have. Oh, I guess I may have confused you a little bit. It is a simple builder as far as you don't need to know code, you don't need to know any of that stuff. It's just straight click in, add images, change text very easily, no code necessary. Does the company need a regular website to have a mobile website? No. Email me on that. I can go through that, because you can build a mobile website on a URL, but now you can also add an extra URL for it. Can our sub-licensees sell the full website or license them? I guess we didn't go that far. I don't think so. I think that's going to be strictly for you. So on a national average, what would you consider a base price to start up a website? I would say $1,000 to $1,500 to start it up, and maybe 30, 40, 50 bucks a month. Would you be able to document step by step how one may place an icon on our client's mobile site we are creating so their customers can download my client's icon? I'm guessing you're talking about adding it as an app. Email me that question. I'm not 100% sure what you're saying. Laura, as far as, okay, so adding as an app. There already is details on there. You're talking about maybe more details for adding an icon. Yes, we're already looking at redoing that area and making that area actually look better. And even having on iPhones, we can actually have an image kind of pop up that they can make disappear for adding it as an app to their phone. So, all right, I think we got to get going here. I'll answer one last question, then we got to get going. Will you be able to embed or load multimedia files to the website? Yes. They will be full websites you can do all kinds of stuff with. Again, you're going to have to wait till next week to be able to test them and see how detailed, but they are coming. So that is it. So thank you everybody for joining us. This was recorded and finally worked this time. So we will get this on your Learning Center. Again,
I'll get
look.
the document over to you, Jeremy.
Awesome. We'll get that on there too. Again, look on your sites today. The sub-licensee and the marketing, the reseller being able to have set up your own sub-licensees will be added today. Thanks, Tammy. And again, if you ever want one-on-one training, I think, Tammy, you do consulting, sales consulting also for other people. Obviously, there's fees involved in that, but she's helped a lot of businesses get off the ground. I'm sure that you might be able to pull her out of retirement.
Definitely, or if you just need some accountability, there's different things I
Yep.
can offer to help you.
Yep, mentoring, stuff like that. So, all right, so thank you everyone for joining us. Take care.
All right, thanks. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.